gotta say, this last day was a heck of a journey. After getting our horses and wagon pitched up ready to go, we went to leave town and head towards our new destination of Jesterville, or some such thing. But as we made our way there, Einar apparently had some sort of, I guess he'd call it a premonition or message or some sort of thing like that, to go back where we met, where we came through the portal in the forest sort of thing way back. Anyways, we went there, see what was going on, some sort of test going on. Glad it wasn't a written test. Don't think I would have done very good on one of those, but in any case, we made it past that, and, well, go figure, Demira was there, and apparently they had these two, we were supposed to do, kind of test our merit in combat and battle. Well, we fought these two, like, shadowy night creatures, and to my point, I did get myself in there and fought, but unfortunately, after we took out one of them, they sort of noticed that my divine, light fists tended to prevent them from doing their healing gobbledygook, and decided to knock me out there, kind of knocking me down dead, or I think I was dead. I'm not sure what happened there. It was a bit of a thing. Happened to Eleanor too, but she seemed to take it a little harder than I did. Seemed to think it's like real death. To me, it was just like being knocked unconscious like normal, I thought, but might be different for everybody. In any case, though, after we got ourselves together, we all had a nice chat around the wagon, discussing, the big picture sort of things, like, in this big war going on between the two countries, which side, as people, should we be on? Most of us seem to be on the side of, free magic and free ideas, as opposed to, controlling magic and killing anybody different than you sort of thing. But in the end, it's a bit of a tough call. But, I mean, at the moment, we decide we'll let her lie and figure out where things go. But, it's taking the horses along and keeping on riding down the roadways. We got ourselves together. Poor Damien, poor man, he was asleep the whole time, just could not get up, and, was out of the conversation. But I'm sure he'll have his say here sometime in the future to give us an opinion. Meanwhile, Candy, well, we learned a bit more about each other. They found out about my past. We learned a bit more about Candy and Einar's, background. Interesting times. We had a good chat. But apart from that, though, I think our day is just getting started, and I think we're on the precipice of a new and great adventure with our best friends. And I think that's more or less the recap.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys are currently traveling along the road towards Justice Landing. You're free to talk amongst yourselves.
Sure, for shits and giggles, I'll say at this point, as we're moving along, Marcus has kind of gotten off the horse and just starts running beside the horses for exercise, since he has their same movement speed.
How did you learn to get that fast?
Oh, this is a lot of training. I figured you could do it too, Candy, with a bit of work.
Oh, let me try.
She'll hop off and immediately start trailing behind.
Well, it's gonna take a while. Marcus kind of
slow down.
Marcus will kind of slow down and kind of jog alongside Candy. Don't worry, Candy. You'll get there. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but I guarantee you'll be able to move this fast eventually too. Just gonna take some time.
Even though I got short legs?
I'm sure you go. My master was fairly short for a man, and he was able to outdistance me like nobody's business.
Ooh. Also, we're sort of trailing behind the horses. Let me try to slow down the horses, please!
We'll rush to hop back onto the cart.
Marcus will kind of go up beside her, kind of give her a little boost so she runs a little faster.
Do you guys want to give it a try?
Looks over towards Einar and Damien.
I'm good.
Is it just me or is Brian really quiet?
Brian, you there? Because if you are, we can't hear you.
No, he's really quiet.
I wonder if we'll meet a new companion on the road today.
Shut up.
Hey kids, Marcus moving. So anyways, guys, I mean, with our new destination and locale going down towards, Jester's, anybody actually, like, I know we know the basics about it, but, like, anybody actually been there or, like, known anybody that's been there? Like, personally? My master, I don't think's ever been around that area.
Have I ever been around that area?
Likely not.
Nope.
And I guess you have an INR, but living up the north and all that.
Nope, not even once. This is the first time I've been off my island.
Yeah, you're speaking, you're just really quiet.
Yeah, we just can't hear
It's
you.
new for me.
That's weird.
Oh, now we
you're
can
coming
hear
in
you.
better.
I did literally nothing. Oh,
The way with life sometimes.
Maybe I just had a loose wire on your headphones.
these are new, so I hope not. But I will. I'll just. I was saying that I think Damon would have woken up at the sound of the horses stopping, thinking that we've arrived, and then just frown when he sees that we're still in the wilderness and closer to the offset than what he thought we would be, since the group had to go back. And he would just. I don't know. He would look to Einar and Candy and just say, weren't we here already? I thought we were here when I fell asleep.
Looks towards the others.
Well, we did kind of backtrack a bit. You were asleep during it, but we were called over to go meet the demigoddess again, and fought some evil shadowy figures of death for a little bit of extra, help along the way, sort of thing.
We beat them really, really well.
Yeah, it was quite the event. I learned a few things about ourselves as well, I think.
Like what?
Like I should not get in melee range with creatures with sharp, deadly swords.
Ooh.
I think that's a lesson for everyone.
I learned being unconscious is not fun.
Marcus rubs the back of his. Yeah, I could say that again, though I am unfortunately getting more and more used to it in the years.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I've been getting knocked unconscious pretty much since I met my master.
Nods in understanding.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
that's
think that's good for your health.
probably not, but my master says it's one way to build up resistance. I don't know. He might be just speaking out of his butt that time. Not positive.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Resistance to fists?
Yeah, sort of like the more you take it, the more it less affects you, sort of thing. I think you're saying. Like whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Slow blink.
Look, I didn't say it. My master did. He was his excuse for why I kept knocking me down.
Huh. What about the rest of you? Do you have teachers?
Yeah, I worked at a master. I was his apprentice.
No kidding.
Did you have to do things like Marcus had to do?
No, it was mostly writing a lot.
I got building up
exercise
that
for
wrist
him.
strength.
Exactly.
I think I damaged it, to be honest.
What? Really?
Are you saying Damien has arthritis?
It was a lot of busy work, to be honest.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why I left.
Oh, yeah, so you left on purpose sort of thing.
Yeah, I was leaving Fortitude and then woke up.
Oh, you see,
Well, you know where I was.
Oh, yeah, I thought you just kind of got whisked away. I didn't realize you were leaving there when that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I was whisked away. I just...
But you weren't intending to leave in the first place. Maybe what happened is the universe realized you wanted to get out of there and just kind of give you like a shortcut.
I don't... I'm pretty sure it didn't. I'm pretty sure that's not what happened.
Huh. I suppose it might not have been. Oh,
Are
by the
you
way,
sure? Because I was actually sort of, when I got whisked away, I was sort of thinking to myself, wow, it'd be super neat to find a bunch of really cool, neat people to become friends with, and here I am!
yeah, kind of like when I was whisked away, I was like in the middle of my adventures looking for proper sort of, statuesque paintings and, adventures to get my artistic spirits done. I met all you wonderful people for that.
Maybe it is fate. Maybe it is the universe. That'd be really cool.
Well, I think the universe got it right. I mean, we are all great friends right now, aren't we?
Looks to the other two.
Definitely. For sure. Great friend.
Candy's gonna insight that.
Everything you have to do with these crackheads.
Nope. Gets a pleased smile on her face.
Can't even see what you rolled. Was it GM later?
5.
Oof.
Yeah, I accidentally went GM later.
It can still
Beat his
we'll
deception.
use. I accidentally clicked to GM as I was scrolling down.
Oof.
And what about you, Einar?
He's reading his book.
Still.
Oh, he's still lost in thought with the story.
What book is Einar reading?
He's reading a book called Mystic's Foretelling.
Alright. Is he wearing his glasses?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, David would just respond since Einar isn't saying anything. I think he's caught up in the book.
Yeah, he was super focused on that earlier. He got a little distracted when you started asking him questions, but I guess he got found focused in on it again.
Well, I suppose it's a good thing to exercise the mind a bit.
Kenny will, Let me look at her inventory. Oh, I got it. Actually, Kenny will look to you, Marcus, and hold up her palm and say, "Kick me?"
Oh, of course! Yeah,
What?
reaches into the bag of holding and kind of like does like a toss up and kind of like a hacky sack shoulder bumping towards you.
Catch it. This time with her hand. So she'll crawl over to where Einar is and kind of like poke the cupcake up above his book and kind of move it around like a puppet. Just like,
Einar, join the conversation. Have fun with us, and you can eat me. Ooh.
You know I can see you, right?
You, of course. I'm right here, the cupcake.
I'm talking to Candy.
There's no candy, only cupcake.
I'm looking at you.
No, you're not. That is a figment of your imagination.
I see. He turns the page.
Candy is trying to wave the cupcake in a come on, you were loving these earlier kind of way.
Damien could cast silence right now. Or,
We move out of this zone, though.
Well, everyone in the cart can't.
That's not how Sound of the Truth or silence works. It's not you don't cast it. You cast it in an area, not on an object.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we'd immediately leave the area as soon as you cast it.
Seeing he doesn't have any interest, Candy will just kind of move the cupcake back and just try and nibble at it, looking over at the other two.
Guess he doesn't want to join the conversation.
Well, maybe he's just really in a good spot. You know, sometimes it's hard to stop reading when you're in a really entertaining part of the book, right?
Is it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I read this adventure story where I kept reading into the next page. I thought it was one more page and I'm done. But then, like, something exciting happened, so I read the next page. But something more exciting happened, so I read the next page, and then the next page, and then the next page. And before I knew it, I was done the book.
Huh. I mean, back in my tribe, we never had the books to read, really, so most stories were from word of mouth.
Huh. No kidding. What kind of stories did you tell?
Adventure stories.
Marcus will incite that.
Go ahead.
23. I don't even think you could beat that with an ad 20 with your charisma.
Yeah. That's a lie.
I don't think Damien would even question it. Like, he would just assume it's a lie.
Candy inconspicuously eats the cupcake.
Well, I'm sure they were mighty fine adventures.
Oh yeah, grand, brave, adventuring, fighting, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, nothing to...
Go ahead.
So Marcus is kind of like, still outside the cart running next to the horses, just kind of falls back, so he's running next to Candy in the wagon. I'm sure they were. You realize, Candy, there's nothing to be ashamed of around here, right? I mean, don't feel like you have to put on airs for us or anything.
Huh? Airs? What airs?
Well, you know, like, feel like you gotta be different than what you really are, right?
Gives him kind of a slow blink at that.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if for example, if there's something like with your old family or something that you find embarrassing or not uncouth, perhaps, there's no reason to, be ashamed of it around us. I mean, the past is the past, and everything that happens has happened in the back there, right? We've all have our things that we're not too proud of. On the other hand, of course, don't feel like you have to share, but at the same time, don't feel like, you should feel like you need to protect us from anything.
That pops cheeks a little while she thinks before just kind of sighing.
Well, it's not really that I'm embarrassed of it, more, how to say, I mean, I thought it was kind of the normal thing, but as I'm sort of hanging out with you guys and hearing about your backgrounds and stuff, it's making me, I guess, sort of think that mine's a little weird.
Oh, heck, Candy, everybody's a little weird. That's the way life works. Heck, I'm sure my backstory of living as a dirt farmer sounds really weird to Damien.
Looks over at Damien.
I guess. I don't know.
He doesn't seem to find that really weird, Marcus.
Huh. Well, But didn't you like grow up in a city, Damien?
You keep cutting out.
Oh, do I? Yeah, but did you like grow up in a city, Damien?
Well, yeah, but I know that farms exist.
Well, of course you know farms exist, but I mean, you probably don't know much about the, finer details of working on a farm, do you?
Well, no, but I don't think that makes it odd.
I don't know, might be odd for you. I mean, waking up at crack of dawn to go tug on a cow's teat to get milk in the morning for your breakfast.
I mean, not really. Not really. I know that people live like that. I understand that other lives exist other than my own. I am not a solipsist.
Damien's response is making Candy look at Marcus like, see, you're not weird.
I don't mean like weird, like nobody's ever heard of it before. I just mean like outside your normal life experience.
I don't think that many people have. I don't think. I mean, our live experiences are. I don't know. I think we share, the group of us share more than we don't, given what we are.
Marcus will kind of tilt his head at that and goes, what do you mean by what we are?
Omens.
Oh! You think that we're both similar because we're omens?
I mean, there can only be, 14 of us around? And so, I mean, yeah, 14 of us is out of however many people are alive. I think
Strange
question. That's weird.
Well, that's true. I mean, we're right there, Candy. We are all right for that purpose, right? We are 14 out of millions.
Well, I suppose that's true. That's kind of more of a quirk, though, than anything.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, we're on a mission from a demi. I don't think that's a quirk. I think that's a life-defining trait.
I mean, it's sort of a result of a quirk. I mean, yes, we're all these omen thingies, and because we are, all these opportunities we normally wouldn't get are suddenly popping up.
Kind of like, how rich people, I suppose, get more opportunities in life than the poor people.
Yeah, kind of, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, but that's not a quirk. That is a life-defining trait. How much money you have.
Kind of tilts her head at that.
A quirk is that you like to put your right foot over your left foot when you're crossing your legs rather than your left foot over your right foot or something. That's a quirk.
Huh.
And what if I do this?
And she'll like crisscross her legs.
How about that?
Damien just looks at Einar like, please.
She uncrosses her legs and just kind of grins, looking back at Marcus again.
Marcus.
Damien, I have a question for you.
Just ask away.
You're from, where was it, Fortitude?
Yeah. Yes.
What is your daily life like?
Wake up before the sunrise, stay inside of a room with no windows, writing or reading stuff, and then go back outside after the sun has set, and then just do that for not enough money for a lot of time. It's kind of why I'm not great with people.
What?
I think you're pretty good with people.
Exactly.
I mean, how did you feel about the city, the people, the nation?
Uh, I I think the he seems uncomfortable, like very kind of getting uncomfortable at that question. But after a bit, he continues and says, um, the way they, some of the, a lot of the people who are very proud to be Chimeran are not very kind, especially. And it's I don't think it's a matter of rich or poor. Um, are you asking if what I think about how they treat other?
Well, I mean, I presume that's a big part of life in the city. But no, that's not what I was fishing for specifically.
I think the fact that I haven't been an ass to all of you, at least I hope I haven't been. Um, I don't have a problem with uh, uh,
Magic?
unbound. Yeah, I don't have a problem with unbound magic or um, uh, like or a body. If that's what you're worried about.
Interesting. Wouldn't they tie you up by your ankles for such a viewpoint?
Uh, like I said, I didn't really talk to people that often. I was when I was needed around others, I was quiet and taking notes usually.
Gotcha.
So then there's
You-
nothing to worry about then.
You ever left the city before now?
I mean, I technically didn't grow up within. I didn't grow up within the city walls, but I've never really left that area.
Is it peaceful?
Uh, Usually, I mean, it's not a terrible place. It's just it can be difficult for some people. Um, but the places that are nice are amazing.
I see. Well, Damien, I think our travels are going to open your eyes to a much bigger world. I know that sounds kind of ironic coming from I guess country bumpkin doesn't work. Islander bumpkin. The same applies.
Damien would just kind of nod and scratch the back of his neck.
All of us are having our horizons broadened.
Seems that way.
All this traveling and stuff is my first time outside of my tribe.
Huh. I gotta find it weird that I apparently, at the moment, well, I'm not so sure about Miss Eleanor, probably. She's kind of taking a nap back there, but...
Evelyn?
Or Evelyn. I mean, seems like, wow, am I the most traveled here?
Seems that's the case, Marcus.
Yeah.
Unless somebody pops from the sky and has more traveling experience than you. But
Or
what are the
not
odds
look
of that?
On that note, Rhea,
Yeah.
you find yourself awakening in a dark, well, somewhat dark, gloomy room, kind of grayscale colors. It's elegant, nice looking furniture. Looking around, you would find your items just kind of scattered around in the room. Your pack by the side of the bed. Any other loose items on the bedside drawer. And you would suddenly hear a door open and a woman peeking through. Oh, you're awake.
Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. I'm just like, I was laughing so hard from like, wow, imagine if someone fell from the sky! And I'm just like, breathing, anxiety, I can do this.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just because Rhea is more traveled, so it just adds to it.
It's his divination peeking out already.
So, gloomy room, stuff scattered around. I'm assuming I'm in a bed.
Yeah.
Cool. She said I'm awake, right? Don't remember
Yeah.
things. Okay. Sitting up, she'd look around, notice everything. That dream is still in her head. She probably feels hungry because it's been a very long time.
You were kept in a suspended stasis, but yeah, you would be hungry. Not like starving, but you've been out for a few days.
Not
and-
like hasn't eaten, starving, but probably
Yeah.
still pretty hungry.
Yeah.
Yes, it appears that I am awake.
Wonderful, it's been days since you've been out. I was getting rather worried, but you showed a lot of signs that, well, you were still alive.
What exactly happened?
Well, the thing is, when you were whisked away along with the others, you kind of appeared at the forest outskirts of here, and one of my shades apparently knocked you unconscious and have continued to, well, I think it went a little bit too hard. So
At least we're here now. You're awake. Don't worry, that one was
Still wait
thoroughly
with the
finished.
others.
You've missed a lot. A whole slew of information, and I feel like it's probably best if those that are like you explain it to you. I'm not sure if you've heard of folklore about the omens. Perhaps about the guilds, but factions.
I
But
feel like she would.
she would probably, yeah. But you are one, and I gathered 6, now 7 here to perhaps guide you along on your journey.
My journey.
You're each individual journeys, but collectively, you'll have rather big goals. To change how the world could possibly function. To change many different things. But you must be hungry. I shall prepare you some food. If you want to gather your things, I can, I guess, teleport you over towards them as soon as possible once you're done eating. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm sure you have many. I've been doing a lot of the talking.
Why would I want to spend my journey with them?
Well, essentially, the thing is, you're more vulnerable if you're alone. Especially without guidance. And it would be best. I took a look at your implements. They're rather interesting. I know what you're seeking. And with the others who have the potential to become quite powerful, you as well could grow in the same way. They're on their way to unlocking their full, well, not their full potential, but their initial powers.
So you're saying that with time, we will become more powerful.
Indeed. That's how the omens. That's how the power functions. It is a gift that comes at a somewhat of a cost. But the power is immense. But it doesn't guarantee your fate. What do you like eating? Pancakes, bacon and eggs.
Food.
Do you have a preference?
Honestly, I'm so fucking hungry, I don't care.
You know, I used to say that all the time.
And she just snaps her fingers, and there's just like a tray of food of assorted like various fruits, some bacon and eggs, bread, an orange juice appears on the bedside table, 2 pancakes on the side, some syrup.
My brain had a mental seizure at the fact that you mentioned orange juice. My body was like, ugh, orange juice? Why would someone give me orange juice? And I was like, oh yeah, that's a normal thing that people can consume.
Well, I won't watch you while you eat. But, let me know when you're done.
She nods and eats.
Okay. Go ahead and fast forward through your eating.
Fast forward.
You find her just kind of sitting outside in the hallway, just one of the finer crafted chairs. She's currently reading through a book at the moment. She looks up.
Good?
He nods, walking in.
Wonderful. Okay, we'll get this done right away.
And she just grabs a hold of your shoulder, snaps her fingers, and suddenly you just there's this bizarre like swirling motion in your head, and it feels like this really sharp headache for a moment as the world around you just kind of swirls, and you pass through this blue portal gate for a moment before it transitions, and it flashes black before you suddenly pass through another blue tunnel that's just whirling with magical energy as you appear. This kind of black haze fades from around you, and so you appear in a forest, in a clearing, for a shrine. And before you get chance to even get your bearings, she snaps her fingers again, and once again you just hurled through another blue tunnel, as you just kind of feel yourself falling as quickly as you came, and suddenly you appear before you hear the sound of horses, a carriage, a wagon of some sort, and you'll see Dimura just kind of appear about 30 feet in front of the wagon, holding the shoulder of a woman.
So like I
Just kinda
said, nobody's just gonna pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, that'd be really weird if that happened.
Absolutely ridiculous. He says, facing away from it. I've seen many things in the future with Uvar, and that's just not one of them.
You sure about that?
I'm
He's
pretty
just
sure.
He points ahead of the group.
Slowly turns his head. Ugh.
She's awake! It's a miracle.
Well,
Hi!
I guess, what's the word? Shoe and mouth?
Well,
But there's
I
no
can't-
way she's more well-traveled than you, Marcus. That would be too
My
coincidental.
Yeah, that would be much too much of a coincidence.
It would almost be like a demigod had a hand in it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I hate really what's happening right now.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I'm well-traveled, but I'm sure there's people more well-traveled than myself.
Well traveled and one of the omens?
well, greetings to you all. I know we were only talking just a few hours ago, but unfortunately she awoke a few hours later than when we had talked, so... But she's here now, and I have a lot of things to do. So if you would mind, she does not know much. I've explained very briefly about things. I'm sure you all would have perhaps a better explanation in your own words about what's going on. I don't want to overload her with information. And good luck.
And she disappears.
Bye, sister. Oh, she's gone.
Well, that was
Damon would
quick.
have been calling out. For the record, I still don't know what. Okay.
Welcome.
I feel like Rhea probably is standing there feeling very disorientated, being
You would be
very
so
confused,
disoriented.
just being like thrown through like 2 portals, and she's just like here, and she's just like, what? I just woke up like 10 minutes ago, what is happening?
And perhaps we should just let her lay in the cart.
Well, we should at least introduce ourselves. I mean, that would just be polite.
She looks a little pale.
She's eaten.
She's looking very pale.
Compared to Marcus's, like, always sunny.
She's
Then again-
normally pale, so...
Then again, she could always be pale. I don't know. I've never met her.
I suppose it's a quick question. Well, in any case, hello, miss. My name is Marcus, and he will walk up and, like, reach out his glowing hand for a handshake.
I'm guessing we stopped the cart, by the way.
Yeah, we would have stopped it, otherwise we would have just ran over her.
Here comes Crystal's character dead.
Hi! This train.
Did anybody else feel that?
It was a deer. Think nothing of it. Happens all the time.
Oh, God.
Party.
So Marcus will reach his hand up. My name's Marcus, man. What's your name?
She kind of like probably stares for like a second, probably being like, okay, I'm finally in place and I'm not being thrown through another portal again.
I just imagine Loki after falling for 30 minutes. Or Thor when he kept getting teleported by Doctor Strange.
Oh god, yeah.
She would take his hand and Rhea.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Rhea. As I said, my name is Marcus, and these are our fellow friends over here. He points to the rest of the party too to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Candy.
And I imagine when everyone like introduces, she probably just like kind of nods, like looking at the person nod.
How tall is Rhea?
She's about 5'5".
Still taller, got it.
So she's also wearing like slightly heeled boots, so
Kenny kind of gives a little snap of her fingers.
The name is Einar. They call me the Forged in Fire champion around these parts.
I thought we just call you Einar.
Well, you guys call me Einar, but the town of Offset calls me the Forged in Fire champion.
and why is that?
Because he beat the
Yeah,
blacksmith.
why?
I beat the blacksmith in a contest of craftsmanship and... well, craftsmanship.
No offense to Offset, but in a town like that, that doesn't. Never mind. I'm Damien.
What are you talking about? Gerard was a great smith.
Okay, I didn't meet Gerard.
But to be fair, he was pretty good, and I'm pretty sure he taught Candy quite the trade of smithing.
I learned how to make a square.
It's true. Me personally, I would have started her with a line, but I guess a square is 4 of those.
Well, that just shows how advanced Candy is.
4 times advanced. Well, 3 times, I guess, in that case. Well, no, it's still 4, because then 1 is just 1 times 1, which is still 1. Yeah, 4 times.
Rhea, would you like to join us in the cart?
I suppose.
Plenty of room up here.
Nowhere else to go, really. And I'm
You
guessing.
look a little disoriented anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, being thrown through multiple portals tends to do that to you.
I could see it. I mean, I guess we were all a little disoriented the first time we went through them portals.
Much less 2 of them.
Exactly. Oh, don't mind Evelyn. She just seems to be a bit, like, tired and passed out. I guess you'll meet her when she wakes up, but, she had a bit of a... For Judah, yeah. She had a bit of a rough go at it, with, well, I mean, I guess dying really took it out of her.
She died.
Well, yeah, but so did I, but, you know, I mean, you get over it.
You just see Einar pinch the bridge of his nose. Marcus, you didn't die. It was this simulation of it?
Oh, well, that's right. She said it wasn't really death, just like death, but then death ended immediately despite dying, but it wasn't death.
Yes, that.
Want a cupcake?
I feel like at the whole like I wasn't dead, but I was dead because it's a simulation. You know that part. She's probably just staring at you, probably like mouth slightly open, like just what?
Hey.
Candy will walk up next to Rhea, kind of like inching really close into her personal space.
Do you want a cupcake?
No, thank you. I just ate.
Then later then. We got plenty of cupcakes. Any kind of flavor. Well, actually, how many flavors are... I didn't actually check. Marcus, how many flavors do we have?
1 second. Marcus will open up the bag and stick his head right into the bag, which just makes his head disappear.
Oh my god.
And he pulls it out. There's about 13 flavors, and we got about 78 cupcakes left.
Okay, so maybe not every flavor, but a lot of flavors.
Marcus, should you be doing that? Isn't that dangerous?
What, just the bag?
Yes, sticking your head in it.
Well, I mean, it's not like I was going to close it on my head or anything.
Yes, but what if some strange force of nature did that?
What, magically close the bag that I'm holding in my hands?
Precisely.
Well, I mean, if we're going to worry about what ifs, what happens if we're just driving the wagon and a boulder falls out of the skies and lands on top of us?
Or another person were to suddenly appear in front of it and we accidentally hit them. That'd be really bad.
As you say that, no.
I was waiting.
Alexander, no!
He's back!
You just see his
So I-
wings. We hit a bird. That's all.
So I imagine like after like Marcus pulls his head out and says that to Candy and that Rhea's just like looking at like everyone and all of this nonsense that is happening and she's just like, so you are all omens, correct? I'm in the right place, right?
Yeah, that is correct. We are all omens.
Yep. Have you found out what you are? Because none of us are actually really sure of what we are.
Seeing as I found out I was an omen about 10 minutes ago, no.
That's too bad.
I think the bigger question is, what do you know about omens?
Screams, because I'm not sure how to answer that.
You can roll me a history check.
to get with advantage? Because I probably know things anyway.
I'm gonna say leave it as a normal roll. It's a low DC to know, like.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just because I'm curious.
Oof.
You know the basic stuff? You've heard a lot of folklore that, just as much as anyone else, that omens grant omens in, like, in history. People who have had incredible power bestowed upon them to do incredible things, craft wondrous magical items, that have had tales woven about them, like been a part of various events that have kind of been world changing. But other than that, you're not too sure of what else. No specifics. You don't know anyone. You don't know of perhaps too many specific tales.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
But yeah.
Not very much. That they're people with abilities and power of some description.
Well, that is true. Marcus looks over at the rest of the party. Well, I mean, I guess the fact of the matter is like, I guess she knows about as much as we do, Einar.
Seems to be the case.
That's too bad. I'm sure we'll all learn lots together, though.
Oh, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will all become bestest friends. I mean, it's only a matter of time, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of being best friends, Miss Rhea, how well traveled are you?
I've always been traveling. When I was younger, I would travel with my father as he was a traveling merchant, and so that requires a lot of travel going from towns and cities. I've been a lot of places, and then when I decided to take up wizardry, I traveled a bit as a sage, and here I am.
Wait a minute. You're a wizard?
A wizard?
Yes.
I'm a what? You're a wizard.
A
God
wizard!
damn it, you beat me to it.
She turned me into a newt.
Interesting. What kind of magic do you know?
An array, mostly evocation.
Ah.
I just realized this means more magic people.
Heck yeah. It seems like most of us got like a bit of that magical spark in us now, don't it?
I
For
feel
all
like
of us,
us
actually.
being omens. It's almost a requirement, is it not?
I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose based off all the ones we've met, we've all had magic, but
That's true.
Marcus is a little inadequate. His magic is just he shoots little firebolts from his from his hands.
Well, your magic will be quite welcome.
So, where are you from?
defined from, as in where I was born, or where I grew up, or
Where you grew
where
up?
I've been. I mean, like I said, my father was a traveling merchant. We never really stayed in one place. I've always been on the road.
No. Well, in that case, where were you born?
I don't remember. It's a town somewhere. It's been to too many places to really remember if that was the place that I've been to or the place I was born in.
Marcus can't help but
Hell.
think, you know what? I'm from a town somewhere. I wonder if we're from the same place.
Perhaps.
Did you spend most of your time in the Chimeran Empire or the Urbani?
Frogs?
Probably neutral or Urbani.
Because, because it wasn't until she started, doing her wizardry stuff that she was a caster, so she could have been in Chimeran places then as well. So it's like,
So she could
just
have traveled
wherever.
from north to south.
Here's the real question. Since your father was a traveling merchant, no doubt have plenty of knowledge about carriages and wagons. This wagon we bought here, where would you rank it on the hierarchy of such devices?
Also, how many wheels do you think might be too many wheels?
Yes, that's a very important question.
Very important.
Oh my god.
It really isn't.
Well, this is probably one of the worst carriages I've been in my life. And how many wheels? I feel like how many wheels do you have is a question that I should ask.
Well, we got 10 spares and the 4 on it, so I guess that's a total of 14 wheels.
I feel like if she was drinking something, this is the moment when she spits out all of the drink. You have 10 spare wheels.
Yep.
Just astonishment on her face.
You'll all thank me once we need them.
Once we need all 10 of them, and only then.
Look at it this way. We don't have to buy spare wheels for some time.
Well, that is fair.
The wagon is more likely to get damaged at that point.
I have a
If we're
few
damaging
ideas.
the wheels that minute.
Well,
I have a few ideas.
I suppose if the wagon gets damaged, we can just all put 2 wheels on our feet and just kind of roll around.
That sounds like a genius invention.
Roller shoes?
I feel like Ria's just looking at this, everyone in this conversation is being like, why am I with these idiots?
I have so much fun playing an idiot. I miss it.
So, let me ask you this then. If this is one of the worst wagons and carriages you've seen, what would you do to improve it?
Well, I mean,
Another wheel.
No, not another wheel. I just mean that it was better quality. The materials were better. It was more expensive.
Oh, kind of like
More
velvet pillow sort of thing?
expensive.
Yes.
What's wrong with a good sack of flour?
It leaves
She's just
flour
gonna
on our
disregard
clothes.
what you said.
Not if you double bag it.
Upon that, Marcus is going to rub his chin and turn to Candy and go, "Hey, Candy, you think a cupcake pillow would be comfortable?"
Well,
I feel like that'd be really sticky.
I mean, like you take the pillowcase and just stuff it with cupcakes.
Oh,
Eyes go a
Seems-
little wide.
Like a waste of cupcakes.
oh, that's
Any-
true.
Wait. Eve mentioned the other day when we were in offset something about manifestations.
Yes.
I was wondering what. I mean, you all mentioned that we don't know what our omens are. Presumably, that might be a guide. I mean, I don't know. Do manifestations repeat themselves on omens?
Not sure. Perhaps while we're in the city of Jester's Port or Jester's Landing, perhaps they have a library there.
Yeah, imagine a place that well parted must have some books about. I mean, some people have a good time reading books, so I suppose if they are all about good times, they'd have a library for it.
I'd be kind of interested to actually try reading a storybook for once.
You never read a storybook, Candy?
Nope.
We went over this.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
What would be a good one to start with, though?
Well, I suppose it kind of depends what kind of stories you want to read, Candy. You want to read ones about adventuring heroes? Or are you more into the romantic love of life? Or are you more into the kind of comical, jokish sort of story?
Well, what do people usually tend to like?
Yeah, generally everything, honestly. I mean, kind of depends on the individual.
Crosses her arms and kind of like tilts head thoughtfully.
I'm not sure what the options are, so I don't know.
Well, I suggest then you read as much as you can and then figure out what you like.
What do you think, Sil?
Looks off to the side for a moment. Oh, actually, this is Rhea first seeing that too. Her talking to nothing.
Yeah.
You just see her like nod her head, like,
No, I'm not going into that. No, we're not doing that. No, I shouldn't have asked.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe I was introduced to a Sil, was it?
Oh, right, I haven't introduced you to. Oh, sorry, here.
and she'll like open her palms, like ta-da motion to the spot next to empty spot next to her.
This is Sil, my bestest, closest childhood friend.
She will look at the empty place, look at everyone else, and see like if their expressions are like, yeah, she's serious, or this is a practical joke, or whatever's happening. Probably gauging that this is serious, and looking back and being like, does anybody else see something there, or?
Oh, no, don't worry. Apparently, Sil's really shy and only lets Candy see him.
Oh, no, he's not shy. Oh, he's far from shy.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't know. I guess Sil is just someone I can see. I keep forgetting others can't see him. I've really got to wrap my head around that.
She like kind of rubs her temples, thinking.
Is Sil right there? And he points at the empty spot.
Yep. Why?
I'm just curious, and I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Ha.
Oh boy.
You would sense illusion magic.
Okay. Since I get to, oh no, it doesn't work because it says a faint aura around any visible creature, and the creature is not visible.
Wouldn't candy light up though?
If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the air that bears magic.
By
Oh, yeah.
technicality, would all of us light up?
But you still
since we're on this?
sense. Yeah, we would all light
yeah,
up.
you sense magic.
But you would sense magic, you just wouldn't be able to see the aura. Like,
Yeah.
you would be... Basically, you are able to sense that someone's invisible within 30 feet of you, you just can't still see them. For example.
Yeah. Damien will shrug and say,
Damien?
No, actually, how the way that detect magic works though, is it that everyone would light up, or due to certain things would just candy light up?
You would, according to the spell, you sense everybody, and if you want them to, you can then use your action to light them up to determine what sort of magic they're based off of, is how it reads. So,
Okay, so he or would he not sense still?
He senses the presence of magic. That is it.
yeah, because I can't learn its school of magic. I just sense that there's magic around me, and when I try to see it, I don't see Syl because Syl is invisible.
Alright, so you also see Candy kind of like squint her eyes in the direction of the spot that she's gesturing next to her as something she hears, and then kind of whispers to it. She's like,
No, she's not. No, don't say that. She's not being a bard wannabe, okay? I'm sure she's really nice. She's a wizard anyway, that's what she said.
Have we been traveling for a while at this point? I assume Rhea got in a cart.
She's
Yeah.
clearly not old.
I imagine she's just like, ew, this cart.
I mean, honestly, so is Damien.
speaking of which, Miss Rhea, how old are you? I know it's sometimes rude to ask, but we all got each other's ages earlier on, and I was just curious.
I'm 22. I think that's how old she is.
Double check.
Nope, 23. Sorry, 23.
Well, I mean, that's interesting. We're all about the same age.
Kenny makes a bit of a face again before shaking her head and turning back to the conversation. How old are you again?
23.
Did we ever get Damien's age?
Actually, yeah. How old are you, Damie?
I'm 21. I think I'm the youngest here.
Well, Candy, looks like we're the oldest.
We're just a bunch of old folks here.
Yeah, well,
Practically over the hill.
no
Oh,
kidding.
you whippersnappers, and she wags her finger.
Kitty was 26, right?
Yeah.
Which is 1 year older than Marcus. I can't remember Raynar's age.
26.
Same.
Oh, you guys were both 26, yeah. Well, heck, I guess I'm just the elderly uncle at 25, then.
Yep.
When you live to be my age, the things that you see.
Storm, do we have a calendar for this? world?
Yeah, it's up there. Oh, you like the. What do you mean by do you have a calendar?
Is it the same as ours? Or is it different?
What do you mean?
Well, like, is it January, February, March, April, May? That
the
or is
calendar.
it something
Wait, I
different?
didn't. I made a calendar and I fucking didn't show to play.
Oh my god.
th of sixth war. Well, heck.
There are 12 months. I need to check. It is... Okay. Thanks, Google Drive. The months go... Wait, will load, please. Thank you. First's renewal, second's growth, third's dawn, fourth's armament, fifth's chaos, sixth's war, seventh's grace, eighth's eternity, ninth's justice, 10th's tome, 11th's frost, 12th's shadow.
Oh. Well, you know, Candy, just because we're born in the same year doesn't mean we are the same age precisely. What month were you born in?
No idea.
Hmm.
My tribe doesn't typically celebrate birthdays, so
Then how do you know how old you are then, Candy?
it's
Kind of like makes a hand gestures, just like
well, they sort of keep track of those who are, the babies, infants, whatnot, and then once they start reaching a certain age, they just kind of, it's not really that important, but I was curious, so I kind of just kept track by drawing in the dirt of my hut.
I get it, kind of like every time the winters came about, you marked yourself off as another year, so you're like 26 winters old sort of thing.
Exactly. I mean, for all I know, I guess I could be 27 by now, but who knows? I'm somewhere around there, 26, 27.
Interesting.
Actually, Sil, how old are you?
looks off to the side.
I never really asked that. Well, actually, probably the same age now that I think about it, because when I met him, he was pretty smaller. He was smaller, so I'm guessing that means he was younger.
Anyway, she shakes her head, turning back to the conversation.
Oh heck, I just remembered something. Damien, you didn't see what we got for all the, for why our little side question happened when you were asleep.
Oh yeah, the poses! Oh,
Yeah.
Sil, you're a few years older than me? Huh.
Marcus will take out the shadow shawl. We got this neat little cloak here that does this, and he puts the cloak on over his head, and you notice his face vanishes in, like, pure darkness.
That seems unpleasant.
Well,
It's the hide-and-seek mask.
yes, I'm still here, it's just, it, like, obscures my face in total darkness.
I got that.
Marcus, you'd become a champion at hide-and-seek.
Heck, I probably would. You know what?
We should all play a game of hide-and-seek sometime.
You know what? I just had an idea. What happens when Marcus takes his hands and puts it into the mask with it up?
So he has the hood up and he's put his hands
Yeah,
up
basically
into
into the hood, right? So, like, on his cheeks, but with the hood up.
There is no glow.
Are my hands glowing?
Amazing.
See, this is how I have to hide myself. I just have to be in a constant state of awe while wearing the hood.
Huh.
So, why do your hands glow?
Oh, this just takes his hands out with his glowing hands. Well, I think it has something to do with the fact that I'm one of the omens, right? I mean, I think at least. What was happening is one day when I was painting a picture, my hands started glowing out of nowhere. Coincidentally, that's also when I was able to do this, and he just, like, does a punch, and you see, like, the radiant bolt smoke a tree in the distance.
There's a little round of applause.
So, you're a painter.
Yeah, that's right. Would you like a portrait, Miss Rhea? He's just gonna look.
No, thank you.
They're really good.
She looks over to Candy, kind of shooting daggers at her. I said, no.
Well, that's okay. I mean, if you change your mind, though, I'm always happy. I have painted the rest of the group here and there. I did a really nice one of Candy the other day.
Super duper nice.
He made me into a stick figure.
Was that just a bad roll when he actually made you into a stick figure? This is just a meme.
I think it was just a meme. I never rolled like a natty 1 yet on my painting. I haven't rolled below a 10. I haven't rolled below a 10 yet, technically, with my painting supply. So everything has been at least, moderate to good.
Yeah.
By the way, you should know we're heading to Jester's Landing.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, right. Einar's gonna pull out the map. Stare at it for a minute. Do you guys think they have maps that has a pointer to where you're actually located at the current time?
You mean like a magical map that follows you or like knows your location, like a general
Yes.
magic locator, a GMP,
GML?
a GML,
Those
yeah.
exist? I wouldn't know.
Maybe you should have asked your friend who dropped me off.
Do you know?
Actually, we can talk to her now.
You're a wizard after all.
No, I mean, remember the magic item we got?
Oh, right! Marcus takes out the little quartz, the near sending stone statue.
Wait. Should we use it on that, though? I thought that was once per day.
Oh, I guess that's... Well, how about
Important things.
Here's the thing. We can ask her just before we go to bed, right? And then when we wake up, it's good back again, right?
Maybe? Well, either way, I will try to determine where we are on the map by looking around for landmarks.
There's there is a little key there that does mark how long, like, basically, like the little distance key, and I did update the map.
So we might...
Yeah, currently.
Also, I'd
I'm
imagine
looking.
in a civilization this advanced, they probably have milestones.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a river directly south of us that's headed towards the city.
Huh, wonder if we could get some fishing done there.
Hopefully it has a bridge.
Well, if not, I suppose we could transverse the river. I mean, you're a big boy, right, Honor? I mean, I'm sure you can enlarge yourself to help pull the cart across.
What do you want me to do? Just huck the wagon on my shoulder and carry it over? It's an
Well-
impressive feat, though, I must admit.
See? That's the spirit, right? Look at it that way. It's an impressive feat only a man like you could pull off.
I actually kind of want to try now.
Heck
See
yeah,
if-
I'm sure you could too.
See if we need to. I'm sure there's a bridge.
So you'll kind of make your way down for like another few hours of having all this conversation. Eventually, you see two figures kind of walking down the road. You see a woman with this kind of messy red hair tied up in a loose ponytail, and it just kind of flows down. The rest of her just kind of flows down to like the midsection of her back, and she's wearing like this very loose black robe with a just red floral pattern sparsely scattered across it. She seems to be equipped with a blade, a very long blade of some sort, and she's wearing like just a bandage, like just multiple bandages over her chest. The other appears to be a white-haired man with this kind of a white coat, feathered along the shoulder pads, also carrying a blade. He's wearing this kind of like black belt with these darker boots and this blue cloak that kind of peeks out from under the white coat. So kind of approach as the woman with red hair kind of waves over towards you all.
Well, howdy!
Hello there.
At hearing that, Candy looks over to Marcus, sparkly eyed, is just like,
Do you know her?
I don't know. Hello there, ma'am. As Marcus approaches, does he recognize her? Probably not.
No.
I didn't think so. Hey, man, you must be from the South like myself. It is good to meet you.
Well, something of the sort.
As you can kind of see her features now, she appears to be kind of like this mix of Falcon and Shurai. And,
My name's Eno. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Pleasure to meet
Oh,
you. You
sure.
know my... Oh, jeez. Okay, so you got the... Yeah, it does not look like a local... Ironically, though, local like his master, though. Jesus.
And
This is Juro. He's rather quiet.
he just kind of gives a...
That was a pleasure to meet the pair of you. My name's Mark. Hey, heck, you guys must look like you're from my master's hometown, actually. Or homeland.
Perhaps. Oh, we come from, well, at least, my mother comes from Kagawa, which is, the capital of the Shurai for down south in Marvel.
No kidding.
But, I wanted to hail you all down because, you all came from Offset, correct? I believe this is the only road to doesn't really split off, unless you came from the mines.
No, we came from Offset. We just got back. Or just leaving, actually.
Okay. Well, I've heard that, there was some issues going on there with, a necromancer. Has that been dealt with? I assume you all seem capable, and, I don't think you're, leaving there with a necromancer still kind of lurking around.
Oh, heck no. We took care of that necromancer lickety-split, didn't we, Candy?
Yeah.
Well, that's mighty unfortunate. I was hoping to perhaps earn a little bit of pay and handle that necromancer ourselves, but, I guess y'all did a fine job then.
Sorry, it's just really funny. We picture like a guy dressed up in this like red trench coat, speaking with the accent, and then like a Japanese woman speaking with the southern accent next to him. It's like, well, yeah, we did ourselves a good job, right, Adnar?
Is it evident on their faces that they're confused as she speaks like that?
Einar would have no context otherwise.
Fair.
So no. He's not confused by it.
I mean, to be frank, the only person they've seen at least fighting with the Chinese style art style is Marcus. As far as they know, that's the accent.
Yes, we did quite well against that necromancer. Surprisingly well, actually, but then again, I suppose we are pretty formidable.
Well, that's good then. It's much unfortunate then that we don't get to earn our pay, but perhaps, well, we'll find a ship and head towards Fort Sharkite. Continue to look for the weapons that we're looking for.
Weapons?
Yes, we're seeking ancient weapons.
Ah,
What kind of ancient weapons?
Well, there are weapons crafted by the god demigod Shinsei. One of the 9 immortal blades.
You want a weapon crafted by a demigod?
Well, they've been scattered all around the continent, so we're currently looking for at least one of them.
Well, you're in luck. You happen to meet the Forged and Fire champion of Offset, but then again, you have poor luck because I have no forge. Nor am I a demigod, but I could craft you something had I those things.
Are you telling me that you can forge something like, crafted through a lot of effort from one of the demigods?
Candy, why don't you show her the axe?
Oh, sure thing.
She'll take out licorice, hold it up above her head.
Da 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 da.
Well, that's a mighty fine axe, but I don't think that's something that I would use.
Hmm.
I'm sure if you work hard enough, you can be strong enough to hold it.
Are you challenging me to a fight, Missy?
Huh? No, of course not. I was being genuine.
Right. Well, I'm plenty strong in my own right.
Oh, right. So what are those like different types of strongs? Got it.
Define different types of strong.
Huh? Oh, no. I just meant since you didn't, since you're not able to hold
Somebody
it.
say something.
I'm pretty sure Candy just meant that strength as in the sense of pure physical prowess. You're more
Yeah, like even if you're not physically strong, you can do other things. Like you might be more dexterous and, you know.
I am quite. You kind of. She's just trying to like. She's like narrowing her eyes at the moment. The Drew kind of steps forward. I'm sure she means nothing about your strength. I apologize. She can get rather rash at times.
Candy's like looking off towards the rest of the group with eyes that said, "Did I say something wrong?"
Well, be that as it may, I take it the two of you are just adventurers of the like?
Yes,
Heroes?
well,
Something of that nature?
wanderers.
Wanderers. Have you met a lot of wanderers on your journey?
There's plenty of wanderers along the road, my friend.
Do they all only want weapons from a demigod?
No, not necessarily.
Hmm.
There's a lot of military on the road sometimes as well.
Whereabouts are you coming from right now?
We're coming from Arkvik.
Ah. We're headed to Jester's Landing ourselves. So I suppose you won't quite know what the roads are like on the way there.
Well, it really depends. Are you heading straight down to Jester's Landing?
Well, directly south seems to be the most direct path.
Not taking the road? Well, the main
I
road.
mean, we're in a cart. I mean, did we want to go off-roading in a cart there on there? I figured we were following the roads.
Well, I suppose where the road takes us, the road takes us, but sometimes a little off-roading in the cart doesn't hurt it, and we do have 10 spare wheels.
You just want to break a wheel.
We have 10 spare wheels.
Of course, that's not why I want to go off-roading in the cart. I would much rather not have to use the spare wheels if we can get away with it, but they're there if we need them.
Well, I mean, if we're going to cross the river, it might be easier with a bridge, and I'm assuming the roads have bridges.
The roads do have bridges, yes.
Does the road just... is it like a straight shot down, or does it kind of like wind and curve around?
Well, it winds and curves by the looks of the map here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we went
They could
straight.
be.
Oh, sorry.
There's like
Oh,
smaller
the
roads.
purple is the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
This whole
realize
time
that.
I was, yeah, this whole time I was looking at that and I thought that was like borders.
Yeah, like the land that each section had.
Yeah, God.
No, it's the roads, man.
Well, I feel dumb. I guess Ironar would know that.
He has the map, yeah.
Because I suppose the road does go kind of towards Arkvale and then away from it on the way to Justice Landing. Just figured a straight shot south would be quicker. Oh, it does look like there's some deep woods down that way. I guess
It would save you a few days.
But we're in this cart. I don't think it'd be quite easy.
Perhaps not unless you found one of the smaller roads. They're not usually marked on the maps.
Can I tell if they're trying to like get us to a place where they can rob us, basically? Are they like misleading us to purposefully?
Roll insight.
Oof.
6. I'm just never gonna roll well.
They seem genuine enough.
Do these small roads have markers of any kind that we could look for?
There should be, signs in the middle of the road where the road kind of forks away. If you make your way up a few more hours ahead, you should be able to find the smaller road that leads south.
I guess we'll have to transverse the river without a bridge, though. I mean, that could be a little more difficult. How wide are these rivers generally?
It really depends. Not too big.
I'm assuming they're not like a 4-hour trip across, as the square would indicate.
Imagine the river. If there's a small road that leads to it, there's probably to a part that's not really deep.
Yeah, like a crossing.
Like where we could ford the river.
Yeah, like a crossing.
A ford.
Yeah, crossing.
Maybe we could just stick to the road.
I was just thinking what would save us the most time.
Does it matter?
I mean, I guess.
not in particular, but I'm quite interested to see what we were told.
I suppose we gotta look at it like this.
Make a deception check.
You mentioned the demigod's name.
Oh, it's just.
I said Demolo.
Yeah, roll me.
Why is Evelyn not here? We need Evelyn.
As Demolo told us about this great festival going on over in the city.
That's a rather weird name, but I guess. Never heard that one before. Demolo.
Well, I assume there are all kinds of names from different parts of the world. I don't assume to know any of them.
That is very true.
It's French. But in any case, I suppose if we get there sooner, though, I guess we get to the party sooner and we can work out what to do. And I suppose if we off-road it, there's always a chance we can find something out in the wilderness that's interesting.
That's quite true.
You're all headed for Justice Landing, are you?
Yes.
You know the reputation there, right?
Well,
It's
we
part
heard
of
it.
town.
Indeed it is. Y'all fond of that?
Well, I don't know about the rest, but I definitely know I like to party.
Well, hope you enjoy however many days you spend there before it becomes insufferable.
Are you not a fan of partying?
I like my parties, but when they go on for an entire year long, it gets a little bit too much.
I could imagine that would be the case, but well,
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Not everyone can handle that sort of thing.
keep an ear out. I'm gonna try to start a little tournament down there. Perhaps you should challenge any smiths along the way, if either of you are attuned to such a thing.
We're not too much of a smith ourselves. There's a reason why we're looking for a weapon, not looking to craft our own. We
Okay,
know the basics of maintenance, but other than that, we're not looking to forge a weapon in particular.
No, it's not for everybody. It takes a lot of time and patience, after all.
Yeah, I learned recently not everyone can do it.
Well, I suppose we shouldn't hold you up on the road too much longer. Perhaps in the future we'll meet again.
Perhaps so.
Name's Einar, by the way. Pleasure to meet you all.
I don't know if you caught the name, but my name's Eno.
Like from Naruto.
Sasuke! Are we gonna find ninjas running through the deep woods?
Yeah, dude.
Nice to meet you. My name's Candy.
What a interesting name.
I was thinking the same about yours.
Kind of chuckles at that.
If y'all are wondering about the accent, my father came from a town.
can't help it. Marcus goes, "What accent?"
Nothing. I just get a lot of questions about it and weird looks.
To
I'm
be
surprised
honest,
we're from the same place.
you're like the 40th person I've met outside of my home island, so I have no contextual
And what
knowledge to
that?
accents, I suppose. What was that?
What island is that?
Ah, pretty far north.
You're a long way from home.
Yes.
How'd you get all the way here?
I fell
Traveling.
asleep.
We teleported.
Anyway, great talking to you. We have to get going.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
You
I
as
hope
well.
y'all have safe travel.
I have to ask Crystal, what is Rhea's face looking like right now with every?
Pondering.
Of when she can sneak away.
No, right now she's fighting with herself internally if she should go with them to see if she can get this weapon, or if she should stay with you.
So effectively, yes. What I asked. Well, good luck in your journeys.
Yeah, hopefully
The
we'll
road
meet on the
is
road again.
Stay
Bye-bye.
safe.
So you think we should try to
Got
cut
it.
it? Go.
She kind of gives you all a wave as she continues onwards, and Drew kind of gives you all a nod.
Once she's out of earshot, Candy's gonna give like a little nudge with her elbow to Damien and kind of whisper to him. It's just like,
Don't worry too much. People don't really take me seriously.
They're looking for a demigod's weapons. I think they're willing to take anything seriously.
as you saw, they sort of shrugged it off. It's fine. All right, everyone, let's go.
Damien is going to spend the rest of the ride looking around to see if anyone is like following them or in the woods or whatever.
Don't worry, you got Marco's passive 20 perception keeping a lookout as well.
I'll say it is a little unusual. They're looking for a weapon of a demigod. They have a perfectly good craftsman right here. Just have to go back to offset and I can forge them something great.
Is the weapon you made me for a demigod?
Well, you're carrying it, aren't you, Candy?
Am I a demigod? Is that what we are?
No, I don't think we're quite that.
We're a demigod in heart.
Maybe we're
We
like
sure are, Candy.
quarter gods or something after all. We are the, like, omens and such.
I think a lot of omens tend to live not powerful lives. I think just some of them do.
Maybe that's what we're destined for, to live super powerful lives and be powerful beings.
Perhaps that is the case, but it is going to be a long, treacherous journey.
Yeah,
Right now I can lift a boulder, and at the end of this journey, I'll lift the world.
There's a thought.
You know, I once heard of this monkey god once that was able to lift 3 mountains and run with them.
I'll
That's
be
your
able to
goal,
do that.
Marcus?
Well, I mean, I kind of admire the old stories my master told me about him.
Interesting story.
Oh, heck yeah, it was apparently this prankster, too. Defied the gods and all that.
There are some very interesting stories out there.
So, speaking of hard...
You can just put out your mic.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Rip.
Speaking of hard roads, did we want to go, go on the normal road, or do we want to kind of follow the road less traveled sort of thing?
I, for one, feel like it'd be more interesting to go the road less traveled, but I can understand if you all want to go on the main road. I don't have a problem with that. After all, I did only buy 10 wheels.
Cries at the fact that you're like only 10.
I think we should stay on the road.
Damien, where's your sense of adventure?
I don't have one.
You don't have one.
Well, I mean, the benefit of going off-road in it, I'm just throwing this out there, is because I'm as fast as the horses. I mean, I could lead them through the rougher area as kind of like the lead.
Well, there's a thought.
Doesn't off-road also mean, more monsters and stuff?
Probably.
Do you want to die for real? Is that?
But
So
imagine we find a old shrine in the deep woods. And in that shrine is a great power waiting for us.
That's a lot of imagination.
Oh, we find an old hag who has our bones for breakfast.
Or a dragon.
You know, I heard of these adventurers once that found a hag and stole a bag, and it just went terrible from there.
Oh
I think I
no.
heard the same story.
I'm glad you continued it on.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for the setup, Crystal.
Well, like I said,
I was gonna
could
say
take it or
steal our
leave it.
souls.
Would the road... So I know they said it would cut off a few days.
Mhm.
And I also note on the map along the roads, you do have small towns. Are there smaller towns not on the map along the main road?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like village, like basically villages,
Yeah,
not towns. Right, yeah.
Yeah. So anything that's visible as a purple square is a town with a couple thousand people.
This map just makes so
between
much
100
more sense with those being roads.
What are these regions?
I'm sorry.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, these regions don't make any sense.
Why is this region cut off?
There's nothing in this region. Why is it a region?
Yeah, there's no major power.
Looks at like the Sea of Erie in the middle. Is like, where's the joining point? Is it one big region?
My gosh.
But yes, the purple lines are roads. We've established that now. But yeah, if we go south, we cut a few days off the journey, which is always nice. On the other hand, if we go along the roads, we go see some small villages that might need a hand.
Well, either way, I think we grow our tails as adventurers and omens. Well, maybe not the second part yet. I don't think we're ready for that kind of attention. I almost slipped up there. I apologize.
Don't worry about it. I mean, we all make mistakes, Einar.
Everybody makes mistakes.
I'm not normally one to hide things.
Shoot straight at Noro sword. I can respect that. In any case, though,
Precisely.
I mean, what, you think that we should go through the... I mean, in that case, if we head down south through the rougher areas, that means we're less likely to run into less people and less likely to slip up, I suppose.
To be fair, just looking at this map, while there is deep forest, there's an area that's not as deep that would take about half a day to get through, and then we could rejoin the main road shortly after. It might not be as treacherous, but it would still cut off a significant chunk of time.
In several days at least, that is true.
Yeah, if you travel south, you'll, like, pretty much from close to where your location is at currently, you'll save, like, 3-ish days.
What do you think, Candy?
That's up to you guys. Mira did say that's how we're gonna grow our power, and while I'm not really itching to do that immediately, per se, I understand if the rest of you are. I'm just merely placating to those that might be.
Well, I'd have to admit, going off-roading, you can find some of the loveliest scenery going that kind of route.
I mean, I don't mind either way. Going off-road sounds fun, but at the same time, it seems there's some people that are a bit worried. And if it makes people uncomfortable, we shouldn't do that.
Rhea, what do you think?
Who's he talking to?
Rhea.
Rhea? Do we just see the blinking outline of where she was?
Crystal, you there?
Sorry, my mom just got home from a trip, so she was talking to me.
No worries.
What's going on?
We're asking your opinion. Do you want to go off-roading or roading?
Off-roading will save us about 3 days.
Why are we even going to Jester's Landing?
Well, Demir said that it's one path to growing our powers as omens. Whether that means all of us or a few of us, I'm not entirely certain. But myself, I'm looking forward to go there to challenge the Smiths.
Yeah, personally, I just found like a fun city to head towards. Apparently, they got like this big Battle Day parade going on right now.
So,
Well,
What-
both options have their benefits and their downfalls. There's not really a correct choice. One saves time but opens us up to the option of getting lost and becoming stuck and finding out that we went that way only to not be able to travel any further and have to turn back and waste more time. And random monsters and unknown entities. The road, however, will find more people, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, because people to offer things to aid and to be aided by, but also bandits.
There's one other thing. Eno had mentioned that the military frequents the roads.
I worry that we might run into some of the military that'd be less appeased to us.
It's a possibility. I don't think it's a big deal for us at the moment, but I feel like in the future, roads aren't going to be the best option for us, depending on where we are. But those are very good points you bring up, Rhea.
I believe
When I was with my father, we spent most of the time on the roads, but that's because we wanted to go from each village, town, etc. Because offering goods, you can't offer goods to no one in the middle of nowhere.
that makes sense. Well, I traveled with my master. We actually off-roaded more often than roaded, kind of viewing nature and everything, and learning the lesson of the outside world.
And I traveled nowhere except the woods in my home island, where there were bears and wolves. And a few other things. On occasion, there was a dragon. A small one, mind you.
I mean, well, why don't we take it to a vote? That might be easiest.
All those in favor for the road, raise your hand, I guess.
What if we're good for either way?
I suppose you just abstain from your vote.
Exactly.
Okay.
I feel like in that case, Candy might need to be a tiebreaker. Damien raises his hand in favor of the road.
Rhea also raises her hand for the roads.
Oh, well, I guess I am the tiebreaker.
I'm good for either way. I like to see the countryside, but at the same time, I'm not in any rush.
Yeah, I mean, if you two really feel like the roads are the best route, then let's take the roads.
It's just what I'm more comfortable with.
Well, we don't want to make...
Seeing as you just joined us, we don't want to scare you off so soon.
And we don't want to go make anyone
I
uncomfortable.
doubt that will happen.
Exactly. I mean, admittedly, going off-road, heck, maybe we would have run across them magical god weapons they've been talking about, those demigod weapons the others were talking about, but I think sticking to the
Wouldn't that
roads...
be ironic?
That'd actually be too funny.
Or what if we came across a giant frog and it ate us all and we were all digested and turned into mush?
As you
What
say
happens
that,
if we met a giant frog with a giant scorpion on its back swimming across the river?
I feel like I've heard this story or seen it on a jacket before.
Yeah, one of those stories my master told me about a giant a scorpion, a frog was swimming a scorpion across the river.
Also, Storm, were you
Roads
saying one
it is.
suddenly appeared?
Out of movement.
Giant scorpion and the giant frog scorpion appears. Oh my god, they're working together!
They've merged! By the gods!
I suppose,
The Aesir's beard!
I suppose the plus side of the road, too, is we can stay at inns, and I'm pretty sure Miss Evelyn would vote for that.
Yes, I suppose she would like to be able to play her flute.
And we're less likely to get lost. Someone who didn't know that the purple lines were roads.
To be fair, it kind of makes sense that Einar doesn't know how a map works if he's never left his hometown. He's like, why would he even know what a map is if he's never left his own his 10 1 mile radius, right?
I'll have you know he's seen a map of Justice Island.
What are roads? I've
There's
seen
no
roads
roads.
before.
I just had a great idea, Marcus. You're a painter.
I am.
What if we painted a name on our wagon called the Trailblazer?
Not a bad idea.
Why?
Why would we do that?
Or perhaps if we go across some fords, we can be a Ford Explorer.
I mean, if we get some Mustangs and kind of get them all riled up.
Ah,
If
I
we
just figured
named
it would
our
be
cart, if we named our cart, wouldn't we just be drawing more attention to ourselves?
true, but we would be
And make
drawing
it easier
attention
for
to
people
ourselves.
to track
not
us
as-
by being, oh, find the cart that says Trailblazers on it, and then, you know, everyone sees that and knows exactly that we're the people they are looking for better or worse.
Or what about the cupcake cart?
No.
Ooh, how about
Aw.
I paint cupcakes on the side of it with racing straps?
I regret bringing this up.
Also, what's wrong with the cupcake cart?
Well, I
We
suppose
don't
that might...
have only cupcakes in here. We have more than just that.
I suppose if we called it the cupcake cart, though, kiddies might be thinking we're selling cupcakes. I could see the confusion.
I mean, we have, how many? 80, 70 something cupcakes? We technically could just give them out.
You've got 76 left. Mind you, by the time we get down to the city, they're going to be awfully stale.
Exactly, so for the cupcake cart, people will come running for some cupcakes.
Yeah, we could play a little musical tune, and I could play a little ditty, or do 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 do.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, right. Bring people around. They'll let the cupcake carts here.
And if you're out of cupcakes,
Well,
then you have to see the broken hearts of all the little children you wish to give a cupcake to.
No, then in that case, if we do run out, then we just tell them the cupcake was inside their heart all this time.
I don't know if that's gonna work on an angry child who just wants a sweet treat.
Then we'll have to buy more cupcakes.
They might tell the guard someone stole their sweet roll.
But we're selling cupcakes, not sweet rolls.
They're pretty similar.
Isn't one a roll and the other a cake or a cup?
Actually, speaking of cupcakes, anyone here want one?
Looks around at everyone's tired faces.
As soon as you ask that, I imagine Rhea just instantly looks the other direction from you, I don't exist.
You know what Marcus is gonna have to do this. You know what? You know who haven't had a cupcake yet, and he's gonna reach in and pull out 2 carrot cupcakes and give it to the horses.
Oh, no, Marcus, no, don't do that.
Quickly grabs them.
What's wrong? I mean, we used to give the cupcakes and stuff like that to the horses all the time. It's just sugar and oats.
It's not really good for them, too much.
How disappointed do the horses look?
Very.
They look fine.
We don't want the horses to get sick.
Well, I think if you think they will, I won't. But like I said, we used to give the horses occasionally stuff like this back in the farm when they went a little bad.
Did they get sick?
No, they never got sick as far as I was aware. It's just a bit of a sweet treat for them. You didn't give them a whole bunch or anything. Just a little bit here and there. Just gotta make sure it's the right kind of cupcake, though, right? That's why I select the carrot. It's kind of flavors they're used to.
Einar, do you have another book?
Unfortunately, they would not sell me more than one. But when I'm finished with this one, you can read it. And same with you, Rhea, if you wish to read the book.
Or I have a wonderful idea. If you guys want books and we don't really have them on here, we could all just tell each other stories.
All of a sudden, everybody switches their vote to let's get to the fucking next city as quick as possible.
Rhea's thinking about it.
No, Damien wants to stay on the road even more because a village is closer than the city.
That is very true.
But a village probably won't have books.
Yeah, but they'll have a place a room that I can go into by myself and just
Lock yourself.
cast silence in and just have
I could
absolute
just
silence.
leave.
Candy just looks between Rhea and Damien, just like this expectant look on her face.
Huh? Stories?
I don't have any stories to tell.
You first.
Oh, me first? Oh dear.
Thinks
What a-
really hard.
I'm gonna roll a perception, see if I notice anything interesting while we travel.
Okay.
She's thinking really hard.
Nope.
All you notice is Candy's story.
There once was a tadpole in a little pond. And the tadpole, in comparison to all the other tadpoles, had this sort of like little tiny tail in comparison to all the others. And all the other tadpoles would constantly tease the little tadpole for having such a tiny little tail. But the little tadpole would always tell them, you know, once we all turn into frogs, I'll show you I'll be the biggest frog here in this pond. And all the other tadpoles sort of laughed and made fun of him and said, no, even as frogs, you're going to still be the tiniest little one. And tiny tadpole just sort of swam off with a little huff. And then, as the days passed by, soon, eventually, everyone did start slowly morphing into frogs. The tadpoles no longer being little tadpoles and now being medium or larger sized frogs. And sure enough, the tiny tadpole found out that he did end up growing into a tiny frog. And he did still kind of get teased by all the other frogs. But eventually, the little frog ended up deciding that it's going to try hopping to another pond. And so the little frog went searching for another pond. And after searching around for a bit and finding a bunch of other frogs that would tease him for being so tiny and small, eventually he found this little pond where there were no other frogs anywhere to tease him. And in there, he met another little tadpole. And this little tadpole was all alone in this tiny little pond. And was actually really sad. And so the tiny frog said to the tiny tadpole, "Why are you in here all alone?" And the tiny tadpole said, "I just found myself here all by myself. I don't know where everyone else is gone. Will you stay here with me?" And the tiny frog said, "Of course I'll stay here with you. You're really nice." And so the tiny frog stayed with the tiny tadpole until eventually the tiny tadpole started to grow into a frog as well. And it turns out that it also turned into a tiny frog. And even though it was just the two of them, the two tiny frogs were super happy and became the bestest friends and lived happily ever after in their tiny little pond. The end.
Well, that was certainly a story.
What do you think?
I liked it.
Pleasant.
Hey,
Also looks to Rhea and Damien.
Me as a person, I'm speechless.
Damon would.
Single
He would have
tear.
been like, no, he would have been like not really paying half attention at the beginning, but kind of like halfway through would have started giving Candy like his full undivided attention. And he would just say, I liked it. I hope the frog knows that those other frogs that made fun of it were pieces of shit.
Well, I mean, I guess the tiny frog probably thought to himself that if he makes fun of the other frogs for being mean, then I guess that kind of makes them no better from the mean frogs, you know? So rather than stay like in this place where all these people were making fun of him, he went and searched for a place that made him happier. And in the end, he did end up finding a place that made him happier, and a person. Well, another frog that made him happier.
That's good. I hope the tiny frog can find other frogs
That
that
would
they're also happy with.
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
She kind of, just like with people like kind of staring at her now, she kind of gets a little flushed to the face, just like,
Oh, okay, someone else's turn.
Well, yeah, I suppose someone else should tell a story. Donna, you got any from your hometown?
None to follow up that one.
Oh, fair enough.
Candy takes the half-eaten cupcake that she's had in her hand, just starts kind of nibbling on it in embarrassment.
Quite the wordsmith, Candy.
Huh? Oh, I mean, I just, I guess the story just popped into my head.
Maybe you could be a bard self.
I mean, you have to know how to play an instrument and sing, don't you?
God, now, heck, there's bards that just tell stories as well.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Some that write plays and perform them in theater.
Huh.
Kind of tilts her head a bit thoughtfully.
I've never really written anything before.
Oh, maybe it's time you start. You can start with your littlest frog.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that could be fun. Oh, I don't have any paper or pens or anything on me.
I do. And Damien has a look on his face like, finally.
Also, this is where Candy starts taking dips into Bard.
Is Damien kind of just like, finally she'll stop talking?
No, he's like, finally someone is in need of my services. I can proofread, I can edit.
Is he saying that out loud?
He would say, I have paper and I can help you with your stories. I'm not that good at them myself, but I'm pretty good at like structure and fixing mistakes and
Oh,
formatting. Stuff like
okay. Alright. Yeah, if you don't mind. You don't mind letting me borrow the paper and pen?
No,
Or-
of course not.
Oh,
But I
thank
have
you so
paper, I have parchment. It's up to you. I have a bunch of ink and like 4 quills. So whichever one you like.
He's like, has like a variety of quills?
He actually has 4 quills, yeah.
She kind of like looks at them and go like,
eeny, meeny, miny, that one. You really sure you don't mind?
No. Maybe how rocky is like this road?
It's not that rocky. It's pretty fine.
It's a good road.
It's a
Okay.
major road. It's not like we're off-roading.
Yeah.
Okay. So he would take a. I don't really have anything flat that you could write on. I guess
Use
maybe
one of the wheels.
the wheels have spokes in it, though. It's not a flat. He would say, I guess you could use my shield for now. We could lay something under it so that it's not too bumpy.
Oh, really? You don't mind?
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
She has like this kind of look of like genuine like excitement on her face, even though she's never written before. The thought seems kind of fun. She'll like carefully take the paper and quill and rest it on this shield, just like,
Okay, guess I'll write it out then. All right. And I'll write some other stories.
Damien,
Yeah.
what is it that you did before you have all of this stuff?
Oh. I'm a scrivener by trade. I'm a scribe, notary, type person. I was actually, a certified member of a Scrivener's Guild. So,
Fair. Anything in particular that you would scribe? Or just whatever?
well, I work a lot with like contracts and the movement of. I had memorized this whole thing, I would say to people, but I don't think that anyway, it's just I would help handle nobles with their stuff a lot, but I did a little bit of everything whenever my master needed. I copied a couple of manuscripts for him a couple times. So.
Fair. And Candy, what did you used to do?
she has like her tongue sticking out of her mouth, hasn't gotten super focused on the writing, but at hearing her name kind of like looks up. It's just like,
Huh? What do you mean? Huh?
Well, Marcus was a painter, Damien was a scribe, and I assume Einar forged things, seeing as he's only talked about that since I've arrived.
Oh, you want to know what I do or what I did or?
What? Oh, either.
there's like a long moment where she just kind of stares at you. Kind of like an awkward amount of length of silence. Before she kind of grins at you. She's like,
Nothing, I guess.
You gave Candy a midlife crisis.
this is the same thing that the party brought up to her, and she just went dead quiet. But she grins at Rhea. She's like,
Yeah. But, I mean, just like everyone said, I'm sure I'll come across something.
As you are writing in your little book, it's like, I think you might have found it, Candy.
That's exactly what Rhea was about to say.
Oh, I mean, this is my very first time doing it. I don't even know if I'm good at it.
Well, we definitely know you're good at telling stories.
I mean, was it a good story?
I'd say so myself, and I think everybody else
It was
agrees.
lovely.
Oh.
the very like peppy, bright smile she always has on her face turns more timid as she kind of looks back down at the paper.
That makes me happy.
And I'm sure with Damien's assistance, it'll turn out amazing.
Heck, and if you want, Candy, I could draw some, like, pictures to go along with it.
Oh, that would actually be nice. Sort of like a collaborative project.
Yeah.
And she glances up at Damien, gives a bit of a apologetic quirk to her smile, and she's like,
And, if you do ever grow tired of reading them and whatnot, please tell me. I don't want to bug you.
This is... No, don't worry about it. Also, once we put something together, if you do want to make something out of it, if we go to a city with a guild hall of my guild, I could theoretically try to get it published.
Published? I mean, isn't that for like people who have been doing this sort of thing for years and years and years, are really talented at it? I don't know if I don't think I'm at that point yet.
Well, how about we see how this goes?
Yeah, I mean, you never know unless you try, Candy.
Okay. Should I do it with the tadpole story, or should I write something new?
Well, I mean, I'd start with the tadpole story. I mean, it's the first one you told, so it makes sense to be the first one you write.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay then.
Glances back over to Damien with this like clear look of like, this is out of nowhere, a bit uncertain and kind of overwhelmed by the prospect of it, but is on board with it. Gives him a little nod.
I guess if it's not in too much trouble.
It isn't. It's. I'd like to.
She gives a brighter grin and kind of looks around at everyone.
You're all really nice. Thank you. I'll try not to disappoint.
I'm sure you can, Candy. By the way, Damien, you said you got a guild permit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very.
Heck, that is a coincidence. As he reaches into his back pocket and pulls out his own little guild permit for the Painters Guild. I got one of them too.
Damien looks genuinely surprised. Oh, that's. Huh.
Yeah, well, my master told me that some places don't really like you painting in their area unless you have a built-in permit, so he made sure I had one when we were traveling together.
That makes sense. David, I think this is the first time any of you have seen David like actually, and he would turn towards Einar, sit up straight all of a sudden and say, excuse me, Forges in Fire champion of Offset,
Yes?
you got a membership with a guild?
Nope.
Damien just grins. And
We didn't have guilds that far north.
Gonna cause you some trouble forging in a big city.
Is that so?
But don't worry, Honor. I'm sure me and Damien could hook you up with some insider trading to get in the guild.
Perhaps. Guess we'll find out when we get to the city.
Yes, we will.
Just like to imagine Einar starts his like guild, his forge trading tournament thing, and gets arrested the next morning.
Forging.
So you can't do this to me. I'm the king of I'm the forge fire master. You hear me?
Yeah, it's against the law to hold like competitions and for artisans without people.
That's because they're all scared of getting showed up.
Actually, funnily enough, it probably is in a guild society. If you're not part of the guild, it's illegal to do shit like that.
It's really just
Storm.
Sorry.
Not necessarily, no.
I mean, Damien is just like, he's just being a piece of shit because he's like, oh.
Is he gonna tout his guild membership over Einar?
I think he might.
You guys, Rhea rocks up and now Damien's a piece of shit.
I don't know about Evelyn, but Rhea, are you a guild member anywhere?
I don't think so.
Ah, makes two of us.
Rhea isn't practicing a trade. And touting how great they are.
My father definitely is.
I'm not touting, I'm just speaking the truth. I didn't learn from some of the best forge masters after all.
Were they guild members?
Nope, they were above guilds.
They were the best forge masters out of how many?
Well, I suspect... I suspect they were probably better than most of the guild members around.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking how many forge out in your town, in your island, how many other forgers no, that's not right. That's a person who makes forges. Blacksmiths. Yes. How many other blacksmiths were there?
He thinks for a moment. Approximately 79.
Okay, that's too many. But still, how many forge masters were there that you learned?
Well, the best one on the island.
So there are only 1 in 79 in a town. There's thousands of people.
No, the town is not thousands. It's a few hundred. Forging was central to our town. The things that we wouldn't keep ourselves, we would store on boats and ship them out across the world.
What island are you from?
What's the name of the island? Is there a name for it?
I recall that we did name the island.
I think we did.
It is... No, we didn't name the island, but the town was named. We can come up with a name of the island if you so wish.
$5 Island.
Have I ever heard of this island and its amazing weaponry?
Roll me a history check.
I hate this.
I don't even know what he said. Hyamdala?
Yeah.
Can you spell that for me, please?
Find a good roll, and it's when I want to be a bastard.
Yeah, you probably would have heard that Hyamdala Island is about it's fairly close to Falkhest's Cataclysm Gate. It's actually a few days journey by ship north of the Cataclysm Gate. It's not that well traveled. A lot of people generally avoid the central islands of Falkhest when traveling by, but there is a decent amount of shipments of weapons that are forged on Hyamdala Island that sometimes get shipped to perhaps Kumasuragi or Toftir. Sometimes the minerals are shipped to the foundry, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah, David would say, "Oh, you mean the place with the really shitty weapons?"
I'd like to see you forge a weapon.
Have no need. I can do this, and he will cast spiritual weapon.
Tell me it's a
Should have
pen.
just cast it and said done.
Tell me it's a pen because his pen is mightier than a sword for this
Okay, well,
guy.
it would be like an actual weapon. He's not that smarmy. But I thought the spell's card would show up, but I guess it didn't. But yeah, he would make it appear off to the side.
Okay, you made a floaty weapon.
Oh god.
Not everything is about brute strength and being the most powerful. There are other ways to doing stuff, and you would dispel the spiritual.
I'm not entirely sure what you're getting at here, Damien.
I don't really have a point. I just having some fun.
I think he's basically saying that there's a bunch of different types of talent.
Well, I certainly wasn't lording over anybody else's talents.
How many times has he mentioned being the Forged and Fire champion of Offset?
He's mentioned it like 2 or 3 times since I arrived. So.
Oh,
Yes,
lots!
but you don't hear me talking about the inked on paper quill champion, now do you?
It's because we don't have such things. That would be ridiculous. And if we did, it wouldn't be a competition against one other person.
Who's that?
I'm just pointing out that
Nor do you
Suppose-
see me saying I'm a better painter than Marcus, or even a better artist than Marcus. And don't get it wrong, some blacksmiths feel that they're more artists than craftsmen.
I don't doubt it.
And I believe you were saying you create better weapons than the demigod earlier.
I did not say that either. I said I could forge them a perfectly good weapon, so they didn't have to go all the way out there to find a weapon by a demigod, but they declined anyway.
Isn't it basically that they asked for a weapon of a demigod and then you told me to show them the stuff you made for me?
Yes, the suggestion by doing that is that your weapon would be worthy enough to replace that of a demigod.
Well, I for one have never seen a weapon forged by a demigod, so I don't really know what it's capable of.
It's capable of great wonder.
I'm sure this one is suited of a demigod. The great licorice!
And she'll hold up the axe with one hand.
Candy gets it.
Sure, you can use your sending stone to ask Demir, what's a demigod's weapon look like?
Yeah, hey Demir, real quick. Am I dunking on Einar right now, or not? I want neutral. I want a neutral call. Neutral judgment.
Where did these guys come with a mute button?
Oh, actually, as a note to kind of... Candy's weapon that Einar made for her, it does look a little gaudy because it has like a literal crystal skull on the center.
She asked for it.
Has Crystal's skull? Crystal's
skull?
dead?
Who's playing with?
Please give it back.
You guys would eventually make
so
your way
sorry.
to a fork in the road that one that leads south, and one that continues along the main road. The one that leads south kind of splits off into a smaller path. Still travelable by your wagon, but seemingly less traveled and slightly more bumpy.
Mark, Anar, what does the map say about this road? Should we be taking the south road or the other road?
Looks like the south road is probably one of the smaller roads. I assume, correct?
Yeah, it's not displayed on the map.
Yeah. As the southern road is a side road.
Well, I suppose we want to stay on the main road then, so I guess we keep following the main road, unless anybody thinks different.
Yeah, main road, totally.
Her face is focused on what she's doing.
So be it.
Okay.
Forward it is.
Travel along the main road, and eventually it reaches nightfall.
Did we find a small village, or are we camping out?
Nope. You are still a fair distance away from Offset that there wouldn't really be any small villages just yet.
Oh, fair enough. Well, looks like we're camping out here for the night, fellas. And Marcus woes the horses down as he's in the front of them and goes, "Well, who wants to set up camp?"
Yeah, setting up camp will be fun.
And her eyes are still glued on what she's doing as she says that, though.
It's fine. I think the rest of us can.
No, I really want to help me just this last...
Don't worry about it, Candy. You continue doing your stuff. Well, we can set up camp. Ain't that right, Arnar?
Absolutely.
No, it's alright. I don't want to leave it all to you guys.
Like, it takes, like, a lot of effort for her to pry the quill out of her hand and set it down, just, like, shutting her eyes really tight, like,
I promise I'll come back.
claps her hands together.
Okay.
If you are really engaged with it right now, I would say that it's better to keep going while you have that inspiration.
You think? I mean, won't it say?
I know.
It's true. That's how I finished Drax so quickly.
Strike while the iron's hard, as they say, right?
Hot.
But I said, ain't it hot? Hurt?
Well, iron gets cold after a while.
Yeah, that's why you gotta strike it while it's hard.
Hot.
Anyway,
Well,
Heated.
Alright, I mean, if you're sure. If you guys do need help, please call for me, though. I don't want to leave everything to you guys.
No worries, Candy. I'm sure we got it.
I've set camp before.
Ditto.
Well, alright.
She'll, like, kind of glance over their direction, but her eyes, like, quickly keep drifting back to the page, and she'll plop down and pick up the quill again.
So, I guess Marcus will get the fire going.
I'll be right back 1 second.
Okay.
what do you call him? Damien's gonna start setting up his tent and his bedroll.
Roll me a survival check.
Oh, no.
Whoever's setting up camp. Like, just the general area to kind of, like, prepare a decent area or find a good area to camp out in.
Could I use since I know we're doing this, could I use my knowledge of the ages, channel divinity, to get
Proficiency?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
survival
sure.
for 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're able to find a good place to set up camp, one that actually gives you a decent, like, lookout through the trees, where you'll have, whoever's on watch will have plenty of time to kind of, like, see through, like, the thick of the trees and not have too many blind spots.
Yeah. So yeah, then I'll start setting up my tent and anyone else's that needs. Like if Candy has a tent or something.
I don't think Candy has a tent.
Would she have one?
I feel like we would have bought tents before we left.
Yeah.
If it was bought, then yeah.
Sure, I could say you bought tents if
Yeah.
you wish to.
I mean, if we bought 10 wheels, like, come on.
I mean, I guess even if Candy never noticed it, just knowing some of the people in this party, if they noticed she never had one, they'd probably harass her to get one.
I mean, sleeping bags work too.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus probably didn't
That's
actually
in a
bother.
tent? Better.
A 2-man tent is 2 gold pieces per tent.
That's nothing.
Yeah, really perfectly fine.
Buy a
Actually,
2-man tent for each of us.
2,000 gold in my world. Tents are pretty
Yeah.
powerful beings.
Canvases
Sentient.
are, like, incredibly difficult to harvest. Up until the day.
You have to kill the great tent creatures. They're
They're
really
dragons.
rare.
You can
Tonight we
only
hunt
kill an
tents.
ancient canvas dragon.
Wait, how many tents do you guys set up? Damien has one,
I have one.
I believe,
Alright.
for himself.
Buy one for Mark. Marcus would have bought one and just put it in the bag of holding. Actually, he would have bought one for Candy because he probably realized Candy didn't buy a tent.
Fair.
Bless this party taking care of her.
Is it a Mark's okay? Mark. Einar would have bought a tent, correct?
Yeah, I also would have bought everything in that video I sent you a long time ago. You probably never.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I assume you have.
It's all common items anyway.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, I'm gonna buy like 1,000 ball bearings, and I don't know when I'm gonna use them, but
By golly, when
I
I,
have
do.
When I do,
it'll be an epic prank, dude.
everyone will be eating their words.
Frankly, I saw a campaign being played where 1,000 ball bearings killed a vampire lord. Because the vampire slipped on the ball bearings, fell down a hole in the ocean, and then because it was moving water, it killed the vampire in the ocean because he was wearing full plate mail and sunk to the bottom.
Jesus.
Well, okay then.
Oh
You don't
yeah,
put your
well,
vampires near running water. As I had running water on that map. Yeah, I'll put all that stuff in my sheet because I forgot.
yeah, that's what.
But we have flour.
I don't know if Evelyn bought a tent, but currently Rhea does not have one, so she'll have to share.
Well, I would have bought
Unless-
a bigger tent because I'm a
unless
big guy.
she-
So.
Yo, you
Carries
no-
a tent in her pack.
She doesn't.
I and I will look at her and be like, you know what, Rhea, you can use my tent for the night.
Hey, you
I
sure,
know
Anna?
it's not a grand carriage or anything, but I'll sleep under the stars. After all, what's the worst that could happen? Rain?
A star hits you in the face.
A star.
You're right.
Campaign over.
Is that a
I
giant
guess-
meter?
I guess if Einar takes a star to the face and dies from it, I'd be like, yeah, my character died because a star hit him.
Like a morning star? No, an actual star.
Ran
Oh,
into a
okay.
level 20 wizard who cast Meteor Storm upon the party.
Oh god.
Wizard casts Meteor Storm, Einar survives, runs to collect the medal.
So
Quick,
how
get
many how many tents total do we set up?
4?
5?
What?
I think
Five?
I know Marcus.
The
Marcus
question
got
is
2
at-
tents.
Oh, Marcus got 2 tents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for him and one
so
for
4.
Candy.
So the question is, would Evelyn have gotten one?
I feel like she would have.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, so then we
Yeah,
get
it's
flushed.
So-
unlikely Evelyn wouldn't have picked up a tent.
Did Damien buy a tent?
Yes.
Ah.
Hey,
Okay.
Crystal.
would-
So yeah, we got 5.
Okay. So what time is it right now?
It's about early evening, sun setting. We're gonna wrap up here real soon, anyways, before
I
the
figured.
night comes round, because there can be interesting things.
Okay. So wait, does that mean next session would pick up during watch or during the next morning?
During,
During
watch.
During watch.
Which I will want to know the watch order.
Candy's gonna want to stay up, so she'll probably volunteer for first.
Yeah, Marcus would probably join Candy in first watch because he doesn't have dark vision, so he has to do it while there's enough light out to see.
I got dark vision, so I'll take second.
I'll take fourth for when there's.
Anybody else have dark vision? Does Rhea have dark vision? I guess we wouldn't know.
I mean, we'd ask her.
No.
Am I the only one with dark vision in this
Does
party?
Evelyn
Well, obviously
have-
Candy has dark vision.
Yeah, I have the dark vision.
I can handle it. I can do third.
Then I have no idea if Evelyn has dark vision.
I get we can have the characters talk this out then probably.
Yeah, but well, I could take up first watch. I mean, better to do it. I mean, on the other hand, I suppose I could take a middle watch. I do glow a bit, so I can see a bit through that.
There's strangely not a lot of strange races in this party composition.
I very much want to do first watch. I want to make sure to get more of this done before I go to sleep.
This sounds like a plan. I guess I'll take first watch with Candy then. Second watch, I mean, there's enough of us that we should be able to lead 2 people a watch, right? There's 6 of us.
No, no one wants to take a second watch with me. That's fine.
Oh, I'm sure someone wants to take a second watch with you, Einar, right?
Looks towards Oh no, oh, she left.
I'm sure Evelyn would love to take a second watch with you. You 2 have so much in common to talk about.
Exactly.
As we shove Evelyn and Einar in the second watch, leaving
Do it.
Damien and Rhea as our final watch.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, guess we'll leave it off as that then.
Yay! Thanks for the
Yay.
game, Storm.
Hey.
All good.
I guess this question then, if next session is starting up with the watch times, if some of us want to hop into the text RP, would that be a little before watch time is happening? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's fine.
Sweet.
You're free to text RP whenever.